I know a lot of people don't want to hear this, but racism is a sin. When the German Chancellor recently remarked that the country's cities look too foreign, he did more than express a personal opinion. He legitimized a dangerous undercurrent, one that has long been swelling beneath the surface of German politics. His words are not just careless, they are symptomatic of a moral and societal decay that has turned fear and resentment into an acceptable public discourse. What we are witnessing is not merely a political misstep, it is the normalization of racism and with it the corrosion of democratic values. To call racism a sin is not just to make a religious statement, it is a moral one. Racism is a sin because it denies the equal worth and dignity of every human being. It poisons the heart with pride and fear. It divides where there should be unity, and it blinds people to the truth that diversity is not decay but strength. In Christian theology, humans are made in the image of God, which means that to despise another human for their origin, skin color, or faith is to reject the divine image within them. The same holds true across spiritual traditions. To hate difference is to deny the sacredness of humanity itself. When a head of government, a symbol of national leadership, echoes xenophobic sentiment, it becomes not just a political failure, but a collective moral transgression. Racism ceases to be a fringe sin, it becomes institutional. The claim that Germany's cities' image look too foreign plays directly into the hands of right-wing populists. It's white supremacy in its core. It feeds the fantasy that foreignness is a threat, that visible diversity equals danger, but this fantasy collapses under the simplest logic. If the majority of violent crimes in Germany are committed by Germans, then the violent other is a projection, a myth designed to soothe the collective ego of a society unwilling to face its own reflection. It's almost absurd. A country that prides itself on logic, efficiency, and reason, falling prey to primitive fear narratives. The media have played their part, framing foreigners as deviant and dangerous, while downplaying statistical reality. The result is a national witch hunt, a campaign of defamation against the very people who keep the country alive, working and evolving, the very people that helped rebuild Germany from its ashes after World War II. The same politicians who warn of foreign crime and preach about protecting women are the ones who quietly kill a law designed to protect women from catcalling. They invoke women's safety only when it can be used to demonize immigrants. Otherwise, they're just rolling their eyes. They don't care. They believe in nothing. This is not conservatism, it is moral opportunism. It is politics for people's unresolved daddy and mommy issues, a desperate search for authority and control disguised as virtue. The tragedy is that society rewards this hypocrisy. In the last elections, many Germans voted for right-wing populists, not only in the AfD, but also within the so-called mainstream conservative parties like the CDU and the CSU. That vote was not a cry for stability. It was a middle finger to every immigrant, every queer person, and every woman who can think critically. It was a vote for regression, for resentment, for the illusion of a simpler Germany that never truly existed. So Germany is a nation at the crossroads. What's happening now is more than political polarization. It's a spiritual crisis, a society that elevates racism to respectability, commits a sin not just against its minorities but against its own soul. When fear replaces empathy, when suspicion replaces curiosity, when cruelty becomes policy, the nation loses more than its moral compass. it loses its humanity. Racism is not just a social problem, it's not even just a political one. It's a spiritual rot that begins with self-deception and ends with dehumanization. And every time leaders exploit fears for votes, every time the media amplify prejudice for clicks, and every time citizens nod along because it feels familiar or comfortable, the sin deepens. Germany has been here before. The lessons are written in its history books, carved into memorials, and whispered in the silence of places that should never have existed. Yet here we are again, watching the same rhetoric dressed up in modern language with the same cowardice applauding from the sidelines. If racism is a sin, then Germany must decide whether it wants redemption or whether it's content to keep sinning in public, one populist slogan at a time.